Hi there, this is Joanne from TrueAuthenticPower.com, and I'm also the creator of the program Catapulting to Confidence. I want to talk about this belief of, I hear a lot of people in the spiritual search hearing the phrase, what are the lessons I'm supposed to learn? When you learn the lesson, the pain will go away. And I understand how that could be a thought process, but I want to explore a different avenue and see how that resonates for you. It really resonates strongly for me. I believe when we heal the wound, the lesson is learned. I don't think you have to beat yourself up. What the heck is in the way? What the heck is in the way? Now, how I view this, and this is totally up to you. You may not agree with this at all, but if it resonates, I just want to hear your feedback, first of all, but I also want to just explore a different avenue. So in my work, I use EFT, but I use that as a tool to uncover the roots of a problem, of a situation. And it's been my experience that people replay and replay and replay, myself included, what is still stuck. And I don't necessarily think it's so much of a lesson as a wound healing. Now, when I go back with clients, when I work with clients, I go back as quickly as I can to early events before the age of 7. And sometimes that comes up automatically. Sometimes it's kind of brushed over. Sometimes it doesn't come up until the client or their energy feels safe. And that's nothing about what I can do differently. That's about resistance in the person and when they're ready to explore that, because sometimes there's so much pain, they can't go near what they think will hurt at that devastating level. What I've noticed, though, is that when we go back to those early experiences, there is so much that can be affected and freed up. And I use the hot air balloon symbol. When we're too bogged down with the pain of an event, it keeps us stuck. It keeps us on the ground, not able to soar. And I look at traumas of even a single episode as being all those multiple sandbags. What did you hear? What did you see? What did you feel? What was going on? And how it gets misconstrued, especially at early ages. I'm sure, like I have heard, you have probably heard, oh, they're so young, they won't remember this, they won't understand. Oh, but I'm here to tell you that's totally incorrect. I've worked with people who have gone back to in utero. Their spirit, their soul, their energy remembers. Now, that may be too off the beaten path for some people, but for people who have been studying energy for a while, you know that that's a possibility and can and does happen. There was a recent conversation I had with somebody. Well, no, I wasn't in conversation with them. It was a discussion on their Facebook page, and it was about being hypersensitive. And that's an extra trait that some people are born with, and maybe it is. I had a reaction to it, though, of being, is it really that they're hypersensitive, or is it trauma that made the hypersensitive so much more on high alert? Something for you to ponder. But I really want to go back to what wounds are you carrying that keep replaying? Because when the energy gets stuck, when the soul and spirit takes a hit, you replay, I replay, we all replay aspects of those traumas, from my opinion, from what I've seen. Now, that may not be hard and true all the time, but from what I've seen, there's usually some core events that built the foundation that then now we attract a similar energy, and it keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going. And we're up too far. When you're in the symptom part of an experience, you're going way too high up the chain of what's stuck. So I would encourage any of you, consider this thought. Is it really a lesson that you have to learn? Because really, when you think about that, why haven't I learned the lesson yet? What the heck is stuck? Blah, blah. It kind of makes you feel like, what am I, crazy? What am I, stupid? What am I, a loser? Why can't I get this? And it also puts another wound on top of the already wound that exists. But if you think, what got stuck? What is wounded? What needs some TLC? Isn't that a softer way to look at it? Isn't that a softer way to approach something. If you had a physical wound, would you not attend to it and expect to be healed? Would you not attend to it and expect that, okay, we fix this. Now my body can heal the rest? Well, that's kind of what your energy does on a spiritual level, on a subconscious level, on an energetic level, even if it's rooted in your body. When you heal the wound, the lesson can go. I hope this helps. It's a little bit different way to look at something. For me, it felt much more soft and gentle. And how many of us get our young wounds healed? Our parents are in their own stuff. Teachers, adults are in their own stuff. They're people first. They're reacting. We get caught in the crossfire or the fallout. And then somehow in our young brain, it gets misconstrued as they don't love me, they don't like me, I'm not worthy, they wouldn't be so mean to me if I was a better kid. All those misinformation ideas, traumas get so convoluted, and they're really wounds. And when adults are in their own mess, do you really think they're consciously thinking, oh, what's the fallout for this young child listening to this or hearing this or experiencing this? No, they're in their own trauma. And the last thing people who are in trauma and hurt and pain think about is, what's the fallout for that person right next to me? I don't know too many people who, when they're in their own mess, think about the other person on the spot. You might afterwards, but when you're in it, I don't think that happens too often. Maybe for some people, but for most, I would say probably not. So when your parents were having an argument, do you think they were really thinking about, well, how is this affecting her or him? When somebody at school was having a bad day and they took it out on you, do you really think that they went home at night and said, oh, I was really mean to that student of mine? They may, but chances are when we're in our own stuff, I don't know about you, but when I'm in my own stuff, I'm reacting. And that's the whole point of tapping. You can break apart the reaction. You can go back to the deepest roots. And you may or may not be able to do that by yourself. Chances are probably not necessarily by yourself because they're ingrained. You do it so automatically, you don't even know you're in a knee-jerk trigger. Just some thoughts. So I want to just do a little bit of tapping on this. I wasn't really going to do any tapping on this, but maybe it will help shift the focus or shift what might be possible if you think of it from a softer, loving avenue of what wound needs to be healed instead of, you idiot, why haven't you learned the lesson yet? You've been doing this for years. Because that's kind of the inference when we can't learn the lesson, right? We become in student mode, and what the heck is wrong with us? At least that's how it appears to me. It may not to you, but it feels that way to me. I'm going to assume you know how to tap. We're going to do some tapping here. How would that feel if you could heal the wound? The lesson would be learned. Just sit with that a minute. Take a deep breath into it. Kind of soothe your way into that. And start tapping on the karate chop on the side of the hand. I'm going to assume you know how to tap. I'm going to assume you know that your own emotional releases are your responsibility. Tapping doesn't create anything, but it may help soothe and calm your body, your mind, your spirit to say, oh, there is a softer way here. It doesn't have to be so harsh. And let's start tapping. Repeat after me or use your own words when it feels right. Even though I've wondered what the lesson was I was supposed to learn from all this. And it's boggled me and confused me. It's not like I don't want to learn the lesson and get rid of this pain. What if it's not about the lesson, but about healing a wound? I want to love, honor, and respect my wounds, how they've held me captive without my even knowing it. And I allow all of my feelings and what I really need to surface and come to the forefront of my mind. I love, honor, and respect all parts of me. Even though I might have believed that I can't learn this lesson. It keeps replaying. And it's driving me nuts. And maybe creating havoc in my life too. I love, honor, and accept all sides of me and what I need. Go to the eyebrow point. I think there's a lesson to be learned here. Side of the eye, what if it's not a lesson? Under the eye, but a wound healing. Under the nose, because at our earliest ages, chin, there isn't much consideration given. Collarbone, of how a little 2, 3, or 4-year-old might be affected. Under the arm, but those little beings. Wrist, can feel the energy of turmoil. Top of the head, and loud noises scare little ones. Eyebrow, so if there was yelling or disturbing behavior. Side of the eye, it may have imprinted a fear. Under the eye, an anxiety. Under the nose, a hurt. Chin, a wound. Collarbone, not only to our soul, spirit, and heart. Under the arm, but to our physical body as well. Wrist, as I replay symptoms. Top of the head, and they get even louder. Eyebrow, there may be a rooted similarity. Side of the eye, because as we get older, under the eye, our experiences get deeper and bigger. Under the nose, but it could be the same energy. Chin, the same reactions and emotions. Collarbone, that I had at an initial event. Under the arm, that keeps replaying. Wrist, because it's built on foundational upset. Top of the head, if I have a pattern of being angry, there's some wound there. Eyebrow, if I have a feeling of pushing through, there's a wound there. Side of the eye, if I have some fears that are preventing me, there's a wound there. Under the eye, and forcing and pushing against it. Under the nose not only takes a lot of energy, chin, but it also doesn't heal the wound. Collarbone, I may not understand how all this works. Under the arm, but what if my wounding has driven my life? Wrist, what if there's a way to heal that now? Top of the head with some TLC and love. Eyebrow, any little child that gets frightened, scared, or shocked. Side of the eye looks for comfort and safety. Under the eye, and if there was no comfort or safety to be had, under the nose, the little mind starts conjuring up conclusions. Chin, usually inaccurate conclusions. Collarbone, conclusions like, I'm not good enough, otherwise they would. Fill in the blank. Under the arm, If I were a better kid, they would love me more. Wrist, what did I do to make them feel or act? And then fill in the blank. Top of the head, but what did I need? Stay on the top of the head. I want to give that to me now for what I experienced. And take a deep breath. Little children misconstrue sights, sounds, images. It's all my fault. Mommy or daddy wouldn't have left if I were better. Things get misconstrued, misinterpreted, and then that builds a foundation for years to come. So it may not be a lesson you're supposed to learn as much as a wound you need to heal. And I think looking at the wound aspect is softer than, what the heck is wrong with me? Why can't I get over this? I must be an idiot. I keep doing the same thing. Do you feel or hear the difference? It feels softer to me. Maybe it won't make a difference to you, but it might. And for those people that it might help, I thought it was worth recording. Until our paths cross again, this is Joanne from TrueAuthenticPower.com. Bye-bye for now.